How do your writing skills stack up? Sometimes it's a little hard to know really how talented you are or what kind of common techniques and tricks you are missing. So let's see where your skills fall on the scale from amateur to expert. Hey, I'm Carrie. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome for the very first time. All around, welcome. I'm Carrieblogger. I'm Carrieblogger, career freelancer on Fiverr.com, where I've been selling as a Fiverr Pro verified copywriter for about the past 9 years. You would think after saying it this many times I would know what my gosh darn name is. And in today's video, I am outlining 4 examples of copywriting levels from amateur to newbie to groupie to expert. And yes, I am calling myself the expert here. I feel a little, I don't know, ego trip coming on, but whatever. I did one of these videos a couple weeks ago and just had a blast, honestly, coming up with these examples, and it was super fun to do. So I'm really hoping you enjoyed that, and I just wanted to share again. And just like last time, this example actually is a real client's project and landing page that I worked on. I did ask them for permission, which I forgot to disclose in last time's video, and they were happy to have me share. But before we get into that, we have to announce this week's Blogger of the Week. And if you'd like to be the Blogger of the Week, just like Jonathan Ramos, all you have to do is drop a comment down below and you might get picked. Okay, blue blockers are going on. Like always, if you want to get a pair like these, like yourself, although they have a million smudges on them right now, check out the links in the description. I have to my favorite work at home producty stuff. And because they are affiliate links, you can help to support my channel without doing anything extra at all. All right, glare on. Here we go. So to start, we're gonna run through the background information that you need to know, and these 4 imaginary writers would have known, which of course are all me. Basically just a simplified version of their project brief. So the name is La Manche Singles. They don't have a set slogan for this, so they have brainstormed a couple here. These are exactly as they sent them to me. They're pitching, we are bringing humane back into human interactions, date with dignity, be a part of the empowering and supportive community, and we welcome all ethnicities, age groups, and orientation. Services. Number 1, they have a simple profile and search membership, much like Match.com. Number 2 is they have a special matchmaking membership, which includes a 2-hour monthly coaching for relationship readiness, profile suggestions, and communication guidance. And then they will also have in-person dating events post-COVID. Their special audience for this initiative is those with chronic illnesses and disabilities, those age 60 plus, and including single parents as well. I, as a real human, not an AI writer, ask them, are they exclusively serving people with chronic illnesses, or are they also targeting quote unquote healthy people as well who just are open to dating someone with chronic illness? And they said, yes, that is true, and they would like to have that represented. Features that they want to highlight is that they have top relationship specialists on staff for their matchmaking membership. And they want to really stress that there are no fake accounts because privacy is important. And the style, which, as you know, if you've been around my channel for any amount of time, is the most important thing to me. You want to write content that actually feels like the brand. They really were looking for something that is inspirational, welcoming, confident, and an extension of the La Manche wellness community, which I actually wrote for that first, and then the project has spread into their extension as the brand has evolved, which is really cool. Let's get into it. Here's the amateur version. This was super fun to write. I'm gonna read through it first, and then we're gonna pick it all apart and talk about why this is the amateur level and not anything better. Okay. Online dating app to date chronic illness people is the La Manche Singles for only single parents. We were welcome to all the peoples, any age and color, and sex and consideration, ... Everyone coming to start dating, ... La Manche Singles sell top relation shop professor and people everyone will very much want and meet for the date online. Account is good and fast for making, is cheap, therefore everyone starting to dating on the La Manche Singles now and sing up. I think I made that too shitty. That was really hard to read. So but this is obvious, but let's pull it apart and let's say what's wrong. Obviously, there were just lots of misspellings and like really weird like word choice mistakes throughout. That was what I kept tripping up on because I thought I don't know, it's hard to read. You'll also notice a small but incredibly important detail is that they misspelled and misused the brand name every single time they used it. Sometimes it was the La Manche Singles, sometimes it was La Manche Singles. It should never be all capitalized anyway because of their formatting. The La Manche Singles. Be consistent. That doesn't seem like a hard threshold to cross. You'll also notice the really awkward sounding incorrect overuse of like ing present tense verb formatting. This is especially common in just non-native speakers because of the language fundamentals that you bring in from your native language, your first language. And in English, we rarely ever use ing verbs unless you're talking about it out of time. And you'll notice that some vocabulary errors lead to negative connotations. So calling them like illness people, you are not like defined by your illness, that's shitty. We were welcome, that's just a past tense issue, but now they are obviously not currently welcome. I don't know. You will find people that you will very much want. Do we want people? I don't know. You know, it just reads like there are some bigger understanding issues that come out of just basic word choices. They're also just selling points that are incorrect and most notably don't match the brand focus. So they said like for only single parents, which is mostly just, and I say they, this was me. I made this up for the record. It's not only for single parents. That's more of a vocab issue that became a misstatement. It's good and fast and cheap, not at all what the brand wants to say. You'll also notice that they are never talking to the audience as the actual reader. It's talking about people in general, which is super weird. The dots make me want to scream. And then of course the whole thing just has like super non-native English grammar errors throughout. In general, not nitpicking specific lines, but the whole thing. You'll notice there's no header at all. There's no formatting for UX, which is the user experience. There's no like awareness of how this is going to fit on a landing page for website design. In general, just no writing proficiency, no adherence to the brief. Like literally none of the information that they wanted to include got in here. And also no call to action. So there's literally nothing for the person to do who is reading this and happens to be impressed by that. I don't know. But if they were, you couldn't do anything. Next up is the newbie tier. We are getting a teensy bit better, but you will see we are really not that good. The best online dating if you're sick. If you want to spice up your life with romance, love, and affection, it's time to dream bigger. La Manche Singles Community is the best and only online dating site for lovers with chronic illnesses, single parents, and dating enthusiasts over the age 60 plus events after COVID. So if you're tired of taking your diabetes medication alone or going to the doctor every time without a partner by your side, it's time for you to take matters into your own hands and finally start to explore the possibilities of dating online with other people who are sick just like you. La Manche is all about we are bringing humane back into human interactions, date with dignity, be a part of the empowering and supportive community. We welcome all ethnicities, age groups, and orientation. And then the clickable button at the end would say membership is affordable and you can cancel anytime with no hidden fees. Okay. So all this purple stuff you can tell is just really cliche, and because it is cliche, it doesn't match the brand. If you want to spice up your life, it does not really speak to a warm, welcoming, inspiring kind of vibe. Dream bigger, take matters into your own hands, dating enthusiasts. Who's an enthusiast about dating? I mean, come on. No, none of that works. Best, one of the worst words. Often it is an SEO word. It's a searchable keyword that might have some value in getting put in there, but it's definitely not the only, and it's not just the best. Like, why is it the best? I don't know about you, but this big section about taking your diabetes medication alone or going to the doctor by yourself and being so lonely, all of that feels really degrading. And the fact that it starts off in the header of saying, if you're sick, it really like defines you in a really controlling kind of way. People who are sick, just like you, it's just really not an uplifting, inspirational type of language. So we want to avoid that. There's also just small grammar errors throughout. They weren't as noticeable this time, but you could tell in the last sentence I paused whenever there was a comma, as you would, and it made the flow of the sentence really weird. So it's not just some grammar snob that's going to point it out, but it really does have an actual impact on how people read and experience the content. You might have noticed there was also the repetition of a cliche of saying, it's time to whatever. It's time to whatever. Why would you say that twice? Little redundancy just in like formatting, which would be kind of easy to overlook, in saying over the age 60 plus, is over the age of 60, so you don't need to say that twice. And the fluffy sentence filler. This was fun to just chuck the sentence full of everything you don't need to say. At the end, you'll notice also that the header doesn't fit the following sentence formatting. So it was a little weird when I said, La Manche is all about we are bringing. La Manche is all about date with dignity. Whenever we have a connecting phrase from a header, it needs to fit the format. I don't know what else to say. Okay, let's move it along, Carrie. It's also a direct copy from the brief, which is just a huge wasted opportunity. They didn't pay you to just copy paste. And the click through button at the end is actually so long, obviously, and it doesn't even include an actual call to action. It's just a descriptor. Not great. So at this stage, we got way more language comprehension, but there are still grammar errors that impact the flow of reading. There's a lot better adherence to the brief when we got more of the important facts mixed in, but it still doesn't actually speak to the right audience, and it definitely does not match the tone that the company would like to portray or project, I guess is the word I'm looking for. Third level, we are rising up the ranks to what I'm gonna call a groupie. Date with dignity. Join an empowering, supportive community and fall in love. We welcome all ethnicities, age groups, and orientations. Clickable button says, sign up right now. 2 ways to connect and overcome. As you know, La Manche Singles is a part of the La Manche wellness community, which means you will be able to meet and date other people with chronic illnesses and disabilities, age 60 plus, or single parents. Our motto is, we are bringing humane back into human interactions. Way number 1. Best results. Our incredible inspirational matchmaking membership includes 2 hours of monthly coaching for relationship readiness, profile suggestions, communication guidance, and events. And there are no fake accounts on La Manche Singles because your privacy is important! Exclamation, exclamation. Way number 2. If you can't afford the matchmaking services, we also offer a simple membership. Still, it's an okay option for anyone who's lonely and has a chronic illness. So first, just overall, some ideas do have a kind of nice flow, like they're the nugget of a good idea. I genuinely like that connect and overcome. They fit well together. They have a nice sound. It has kind of that high level thinking built into it, but the rest of it just has like no nuance, no creativity. The style is just so lacking still. Lots of cliches and overall lots of negativity, which we'll talk about in a second. All the red stuff is just copied in from the brief. You probably noticed that. So there's no nuance there, even though they did technically fix at least the typo in this case. They did at least it's so weird to talk about myself like this. These yellow things are just cliche phrases. They just don't have any depth to them. They don't add anything to the content. So saying incredible, inspirational, meet the love of your life, privacy is important. Like, yeah, but why? That button, sign up right now, is just way too pushy and super out of character for this type of branding. You'll also notice the headers are a missed opportunity with just way number 1 and way number 2. Filler words. Again, I am such a lover of concise sentences. Not when I speak, obviously. Like, these captions I'm sure are awful because I just ramble. But when I write, we want it to be very, very clear and take out anything that doesn't need to be said. We've got some green highlighter for repetition, and especially repetition that doesn't actually add anything new in terms of the relationship to the reader. So they're offering relationship readiness coaching. The next section says, get ready for a relationship, and then our top relationship specialists. I mean, it's an important fact, but it's not adding anything new, which is, I guess, the summary of this whole section, and it's really not making it relevant or personal to the end reader. Obviously, we've still got some small grammar things throughout, which were a little bit less noticeable or less hindering, but still obviously problematic. And the last huge thing was that they are really negatively underselling the simple memberships in an attempt to oversell the matchmaking. But you can always explain something in a positive light, and especially for a brand like this, that would be the way to go. All right, now here is the expert level, what I actually wrote for the client. Note that the whole landing page was actually 400 words, and I'm not gonna read the whole thing. So here are just a few excerpts from that content. Enlightened connections. La Manche Singles invites you on a journey of discovery. Connect with your best self and like-minded individuals around the world. Our curated high-end matchmaking services give you the tools and connections to date with dignity. Clickable button says become a member. An inclusive, safe space. Your chronic illness does not define you. Your disability does not restrict you. Your age does not limit you. Your ethnicity does not exclude you. Our empowering, supportive community is open to everyone, and we encourage you to come as you are. This dignified, discreet dating service is built on privacy, and our staff takes purposeful steps to protect your members, including safeguarding your data and deleting fake accounts. Meet your match. So yeah, there you have it. I can hear my baby crying downstairs with my mom who's babysitting. So I'm just gonna wrap this up right here. That is a look inside the process for 4 levels of copywriting. Hopefully this is helpful for you. Make sure to comment down below and let me know what level you think you're at. I'm curious to know. Plus, if you wanna include a catchy slogan idea for the headline, Lamanche Singles had a couple options in the mix, so you can give your pitch to them for that slogan. Make sure to check out the links in the pinned comment and description down below to lots of good stuff I've got going on. If you are still watching, you know you are my actual hero. And remember, you are worth so much more than your workload. Let's get back to work.